In the last episode, we made some great discoveries and found a space pirate station we can park at and do repairs or upgrades to the ship. Something almost impossible to do in the weightlessness of space with our no jetpack challenge. But this time, we're making a big expansion of the houseboat and really getting ourselves ready for some deep space exploration. After leaving the pirate space station, our next stop before going home was to revisit the very first wreck we found in the series. As I recall, it had a couple ion thrusters still left, and it may have some other bits we should get, now that we're farther into the challenge. Yeah, metal grids are no longer our limiting factor, and we've picked up quite a few on this run even without trying. But that is the distinct sound of Gatling fire. And I'm hearing things breaking. The Assert faction. They found us. And they're just on the other side of that piece of asteroid, firing at the wreck. We're out of here. I'm not even going to look back. Our acceleration is slow, and we've got to get some distance. There. We're good. Our cargo's getting full, and we're getting heavy. So let's drop by the trade station on the way home just to see what's changed at the stores. Data pads. They have data pads now. That's exactly what we need to find. Other trade stations. We'll buy 7 and see what they give. Some were very far. A couple were probably just one jump away with our future jump drive, but one looks to be very close, maybe just on the other side of Pertam. That one we should definitely check out. Right now though, we'll drop off this drone at the trade station, then get back to the base to unload our loot. There, all locked down. Let's turn off a few blocks to save power while we're away. Except that one. I can't believe I did that. I turned off the antenna. So now I can't remotely communicate with the drone. I'm pretty sure I can fix this though. And it'll be the houseboat that comes to the rescue. A little backup of the rear porch to reach the drone. This should all go reasonably well. And just like that, back up and running. Business as usual. It's back to the base. And this time, I'm going to trust the stopping power of the houseboat and let us free fall a bit farther than usual. 4,000 meters should be good. We'll level up and settle into the base nice and easy. I said nice and easy. One of these days. The damage doesn't look too bad. We'll use our automated controls to fold away the solar array, which just feels so good. The ship is pretty heavy and sluggish when it's loaded. I think we only lost a couple stairs and a couple bent armor blocks. We'll use the opportunity, though, to move the rear ramp back a block and give us a little more maneuvering room on the porch. As we've seen, the porch area has become a huge asset for us to reach and access things in space with our mag boots. I didn't realize it at the time, but yeah, it's been a lifesaver. Now though, it's time for a big ship renovation. We need to widen the cabin side of the ship 2 blocks wide. That should give us enough room to fit in a survival kit and a cryopod. Those are really the only 2 major blocks left for the small grid part of the ship that I think are really a must. That's pretty much how it'll look from the top. I can live with that. Let's get the rest of the blocks in place to finish off the corners, and we'll also widen our wraparound window, which one of my good viewers commented on. I really appreciated reading that because we are spending a little time on getting the look and feel right on the builds. Okay, that's how it looks. I'm satisfied with that. We added 2 blocks to the width, but kept the same overall look it had before. Inside, I'll start laying down some conveyor blocks to connect up the new pieces, and I plan to put the survival kit right there when I'm finished. Here's how it's looking outside with a couple more front spotlights, and this ship also has earned the right to have its name proudly displayed on the side. Hail Mary. As you recall, this started as basically a rocket with 2 thrusters that we just hurled into space with me strapped to like a desperate Hail Mary pass. And look how far it's come. Just amazing. A nice light gray color on the lettering, so it's there, but still subtle. And now for some lighting accents. Oh yeah, that's starting to look good. I should probably make some adjustments to the small spotlights, but in general, we're definitely improving the visuals of the ship. We'll take a short break from the ship to also finish welding and painting this other little raised pad by the carport. What this is, if you don't remember, is where a crater formed from a meteor hit. We drilled off and smoothed the edges of the crater, then filled in the divot with blocks. At this point, it makes a nice little addition visually to the base, and I think we've got it blended in like it's supposed to be there. Now for something extremely cool I've been thinking about that's functional and good visually.
What, the curtains?
No, not the curtains, lad.
On the inside of Hail Mary, up along the upper edge of the control area, I think I can use the new control panel blocks that came with the signal update, and hopefully form something that looks very high-tech, very NASA space capsule looking, and something that's also going to have some utility. They're not exactly meant to be oriented like this, but they don't look entirely out of whack either. I don't think it's quite the final arrangement, but this is going in the right direction. Let's try to take care of our uninvited dinner guests. We need to continue with our building. So this bit here connects to the main conveyor line down to the larger conveyor port I have in the wall. That'll feed the survival kit. From the bottom of that port, a line runs as part of the floor and over to where I plan to put the cryopod. Outside, it probably is prudent to add a couple decoys to attract the lightning or draw fire from enemies, and a couple more railings that should add to the design of the upper deck. Back on the inside, I've added more tech blocks to that upper edge and set one of the LCD displays to show the power consumed by every block on the ship. This might be overkill, but there's a lot of blocks that actually do consume power, but don't have a power draw listed in the game. So I find this data not only to be very handy, but very informative, particularly when we're powering a ship long-term, mainly off a couple solar panels. Okay, let's take our extended cabin version of the houseboat into space. We'll see if we've broken something with the big makeover and get more parts we need for the jump drive, survival kit, and cryopod. But I do see we are leaking. I've done something to break the airtightness of the cabin. My guess is it's the conveyor blocks on the inside. We'll fix these up here while we're idle in space and recheck our monitor. Yes, that was it. For a warning system, I put in an AI defensive block. That'll hopefully warn me next time when an enemy is starting to get close. Last trip, I heard the sound of the Gatling fire, but I may not be that lucky next time. Or I could be remotely piloting the drone and be in a difficult position. It draws a lot of power though, and we don't need it all the time, probably just while we're parked somewhere salvaging. So I'll put the ability to turn that off and on one of my new buttons, and we'll save a bunch of power. See, the list of components drawing power has already come in handy. We almost got jumped by the Assert faction while salvaging, and nearly crashed the ship while landing on Pertam. So anything can happen. But we'll continue with getting the rest of what we need from the wrecks here in space and begin the all-important step of building the jump drive module for the Houseboat. Tune in to the next episode to see how that part of the build turns out, and I'll see you next time.